You're watching Shani Speaks Now.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Shani here, your little big sis, because I might be small in stature, but I'm big on that sisterly love. And welcome to Always Keep the Faith Fridays. You already know, my favorite day of the week, where I do my best to take you from your work week, going into your Friday, and going into your weekend that I always hope and wish is full of a lot of fun and a lot of good things for you all. Right now, it might be full of Christmas shopping, I don't know. It might be full of making lists. It might be full of preparing and getting ready to figure out what you're gonna cook for the rest of the holidays. I don't know, okay? Whatever it is, it's your weekend to do whatever it is that you would like. But today on this Friday, we're gonna celebrate my favorite day of the week. Faith Fam, I hope that you all are doing well. And for those of you who do not know what the Faith Fam even is, that means that you are new to this channel and I want to welcome you. However, just because you didn't know about it before does not mean that you can't be a part of it now. So if you like what you see on today, be sure that you click that subscribe button, if I could talk, and that you will get the notification so that whenever I post a new episode, whether it be a vlog, an interview, or an episode of Always Keep the Faith Fridays, you can be right there with your girl. And of course, I am on social media, so if you want to connect, I am at Shani Speaks Now on all the things that are the things, but especially Instagram, since that's where I spend most of my time outside of YouTube. Anywho, enough of the housekeeping that's going on. So, earlier this year, yes, when I first came back from kind of my little hiatus in the summer, the first episode that I did was called I Just Can't. And essentially that episode was me just realizing like I need a breather and there's certain things in life that I just can't do in the moment and that we are able to, or we should be able to admit when we just can't do something. Ultimately though, what I was talking about is the idea of capacity. Now, one of the things, as I talked about in another episode, just kind of evaluating some of the things going into the new year, I realized is my capacity, people, has changed a lot, okay? It's the capacity for me, for sure. And not only has it changed a lot, but it's kind of creeped up on me. It's something that I've realized sometimes in the moment of certain things, or that I've realized as I'm anticipating certain things or thinking about certain places that I have to go, where I'm just like, ooh, Jesus, I do not know if I have what it takes, if I have the capacity for this. Even the idea of the word capacity, the concept of capacity has been kind of like a buzzword right now. There's a lot of things on Instagram that talks about the capacity or having the capacity or the lack of it. But what exactly does that even mean exactly? Why are we even talking about this? Well, you know what? You know your girl loves to talk about these sorts of things, so that's what we're gonna get into, all right? We're gonna talk about the concept of capacity and what that means. So keep it locked because we're about to get into it. Okay, so the crazy thing about capacity is it's not that big of a word, okay? It's a pretty simple word as far as the spelling of it, you know, how it sounds, all the things. But when you actually look up what the word capacity means, it has a plethora of definitions. And I only pulled a couple that I thought really kind of fit what it is that I want to share in regards to capacity. So bear with your girl as I kind of give you an overview of what capacity actually is. So I'm going to give you an A, B, and C function for the definition of capacity, but the definition of capacity is an individual's mental or physical ability, aptitude, or skill. So that's one. The faculty or potential for treating, experiencing, or appreciating something. That's two. Or the power to produce, perform, or deploy, or capability. That is three. So needless to say, capacity is really not a simple thing. When I kind of thought about all those definitions, ultimately I kind of drilled it down to capacity being your ability to mentally, physically, and emotionally handle something or have the fortitude to produce something. Whew, that's a lot. I feel like a professor on this here episode, but I really wanted to dig into what it really means. I think one of the key factors in knowing your capacity for something is one, having a relationship with self and being very self-aware, but also knowing your like mental, physical, and emotional boundaries and limits. Like that is key to really understanding whether you have or don't have the capacity or something and how to even formulate that or verbalize that or recognize that. So that's one of the things that I really want to talk about is how do you figure out like your capacity levels? Like how do we even figure these things out? And I know a lot of times we understand the concept of capacity, but I don't necessarily think we take time to be introspective enough to really figure out like, what does that mean for me? I've noticed for me personally that my capacity has changed a lot. It's almost like the equilibrium of my capacity has shifted. Some of the things in life that I think in the past would have like made me frazzled or that may have gotten a rise out of me, quite frankly, don't. And then sometimes there's the simpler things that really probably don't mean as much that sometimes these days might rattle me a little bit more. And I think also there's certain things that happen in life, certain traumas that may happen that really shift it to where because that specific thing happened, other things just don't mean as much or certain things just don't matter. It's kind of like, well, if I made it through that, then there's nothing I can't make it through. But I've noticed that for me, I've had to recognize that my capacity has shifted. And I thought, you know what, if I'm one person that's dealing with this, maybe there's some other people that are. So I wanted to share some things with you that I personally have seen that has allowed me to recognize my capacity. Now, first and foremost, keep in mind your girl is not a counselor. I am not a psychologist. I am not a mental health worker, a social worker. I am none of the things. So this is only my personal thoughts on what I have at least recognized for myself. I've been very introspective this year. So hopefully some of the things that I share will help you recognize the capacity levels and how you even figure what that is for yourselves. Okay, so these are a couple of things that I have personally felt has helped me figure out my capacity. So one of those things is pay attention to tasks or situations that make you most anxious or fatigued. I notice that I can get to my capacity level real quick when I'm either fatigued, I am frustrated, I'm anxious, and I've learned to figure out, okay, what am I doing or what situation am I in, and kind of make a mental note like, okay, if I have to be in this situation again, or if I have to do this task again, maybe there's some things that I need to do to kind of rev me up to make sure that I have the capacity to handle those things, or if at all possible, just avoid the task and situations if that is possible. But that is one of the things that has helped me for sure. Something else that has really helped is pay attention to how you respond to bad news or great news. Are you overly dramatic? Are you apathetic? Are you emotional? What is it? Pay attention to how you feel, because a lot of times really great news or really terrible news is definitely an indicator of what your capacity is to handle. I've noticed that for the most part, and I think a lot of it is being a big sister, that when I get certain things, I just kind of, I'm a doer. I can kind of postpone the emotions later and focus on the task at hand and get things done, make sure everybody else is good, and then I'll worry about myself. But lately I've noticed that I kind of have to pay attention to how I'm feeling too, and then also still carry on to do the things that I normally would do. So that's a good indicator. Figure out kind of how good or bad news shifts you a little bit. And another big one, especially for me lately, is pay attention to how those who are closest to you make you feel. Are they givers? Are they takers? Are they a little bit of both? I find that people who are takers, they take a lot of your energy. Now, I'm a giver. I like to give of my time. I like to give of my energy. I like to give of my resources. I think for those closest to me, I can be a taker, obviously, like my husband or my siblings or my parents. But for the most part, I try not to need too much from anybody. But if you notice the people closest to you, how do they make you feel? Or maybe it's not even the people closest to you. Maybe it's the associates and the, here one day, gone tomorrow friends. If it's someone who's always calling you and always having a complaint or always wanting to share something or kind of has some toxicity in their life, that's something that can also raise your capacity levels to all-time highs, or sometimes take them to the lowest of lows. So really pay attention to those who are closest to you, or maybe even those that are just around you, and help that to be a gear of what you really can handle when it comes to capacity. And more than anything, remember that the word no is a full and complete sentence. Believe that. So what's this week's faith fact? Knowing your capacity in life can bring you more peace. When you know what you can handle, what you can't handle, or what you need more time to handle, it can allow you to prepare for the things that may kind of get you emotionally all over the place, or you may be pleasantly surprised to find out that your capacity is at a higher level to handle a particular situation or a particular person, or whatever the case may be. Either way, make sure that you don't make yourself feel bad if you find that your capacity has shifted in some way, shape, or form. That's life. And as you go through different situations in life, whether it be great things or whether it be the traumatic things of life, you'll realize that you have to ebb and flow with those things. So your capacity will take a hit here or there. Maybe it's something that you've already noticed. Maybe it hasn't happened for you yet. Or maybe it's something that's gradual. I know for me, this has been a year where I've noticed it, and I'm thankful because I believe that I'm becoming so much more self-aware so that I can kind of shift and give myself whatever it is that I need in that moment to be able to handle whatever it is that may come my way. No matter what though, I pray that if you do take the time to figure out what are the things that do kind of shift your capacity gears, so to speak, that no matter what, it brings your life a lot more peace and just allows you to feel a little bit more settled, no matter what situation comes your way. Well, that is it for this week's episode, you guys. I hope that you all have enjoyed it, and hopefully you enjoyed the last couple episodes. I'm getting a little bit deeper going into this new year, but I also want to give you all something that will feed you all in some way, shape, or form, because typically, before I give it to you, it has to hit me first. That's kind of something like pastors say all the time. You know, I have to live through it in order to preach it to you. But it's true. It's something that I have to feel. And then once I figure out how to feel it, I hopefully am able to regurgitate it and share it in a way that will be helpful to others. Well, guys, I hope that you all have an amazing weekend ahead. For those that are watching for the first time, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe and there's something that you all love that will allow you to join the Faith Fam. And for my Faith Fam people, I love you all. Thank you for continuing to rock with me. You all know that I appreciate you all so much, and I hope appreciate you all. Yes, I had to catch myself. I appreciate you all. And hope that you all are having an amazing Friday, and that you have an even more amazing weekend. That is it for your girl outside of the motto, and you know what that is. Always keep the faith and let the Lord fight your battles. And so, until next time, I love y'all. Take care. Peace.
Thanks for watching, Faith Fam. Be sure to subscribe, share, and like this episode, and I'll see you back on my channel soon.